Hello, everyone, and welcome to my 100-day project, day 35. We are working in soft pastel. When I approached the surface today, my plan was to do something kind of whimsical, and I looked at the surface and I saw a face. And what's interesting is from this angle, I even see another face. So there's always something there, but this is a surface that I had pre-primed with the Art Spectrum Color Fix clear primer with a couple of drops of Purple Lake acrylic ink. And what I'm enjoying about that is that while the surface itself is fairly smooth and even, the ink isn't, because I didn't pre-mix it. I literally dropped the ink onto the surface and then used a brush to move it around. So I'm seeing things in the ink, which is great. I love that. And this is how I typically paint. And when I talk about painting intuitively, this is what I mean. Like, I saw this figure there, so I was like, okay, well, let me bring her out. So here's the challenge with that. I was using the reference points that I saw in the image. Same thing as the one I did yesterday. So what that means is that I'm not measuring to create my features and place them the way that I might if I were starting from scratch with a drawing without any sort of reference, be it a photograph or, in this case, I'll call this an intuitive reference, what was in the surface when I started. So what that means is her proportions are a bit off. Her nose is very large. Her eyes are higher in her head than I might want. And I move her hairline up a little bit, and I try to fix the top of her head a little bit as well to try and adjust that. And I even bring her chin up a little bit, but it is what it is. People are all different shapes and sizes. To be honest with you, there's a part of me that's like, I kind of want to get away from those types of proportionate measures. Because you know what? We're not perfect. And there are people in the world who have eyes that are further, shorter foreheads, and people who have longer noses or wider noses or shorter chins or whatever it is. So it's like, why do I feel like I have to have these proportions, quote unquote, correct? I'm not painting from reference. So I'm not trying to capture a likeness of a specific person. So who the hell cares, right? I mean, like, just paint what I see. So that's what I did. I just went with it. And there was a part of me that was like, oh, I need to fix her nose. And I was like, no, I don't. This is who she is. And I'm going to embrace her because there are all sorts of people like this in the world. And this is who's coming out. So that's who she is. So that's what I went with today. And I pulled out my Unison pastels, and I have to say, I enjoyed the heck out of those today. They are super soft, kind of the same softness as the Sennelier Extra Soft, maybe just the slightest bit harder, but very indistinguishable. But what I like about this set is it's laid out by colors, and each row has the same sort of hue but in varying values. So it was super easy for me to pick up a really light, a sort of light, a mid-tone, and a dark in this color. And I picked this kind of mauve-y pinkish color. And it made it really easy for me to get the values that I was looking for. So that was awesome. I always tell folks in my classes, if you're not getting the results that you're looking for, before you blame yourself or do other things, take a step back and really look at your supplies. Are your supplies supporting you in creating the thing that you're trying to create? So if you find that you can't get the values that you're looking for and you're using pastels, are you missing some key pastels? Are they not layering the way that you like? Take a look at what you're using to see if that is really supporting you in the way that you would like, in the way that you need. So these Unisons were beautiful. They were set up. So I really didn't use much of the Faber Castell. other than to do the sketching at the beginning. A little bit in some of the eye areas, I pull out one of my Carbothello pencils to give me some of the refinement around her eye shape. But mostly I use the Unison, and this is one where I really, really like how it looks close up because it looks very painterly. It looks very soft, almost in some ways like I used oil and what I enjoyed about oil. So this was really eye-opening for me because I haven't used those Unison pastels in like a long time, like many, many, many years. So I enjoyed the heck out of it. And it really made me realize what a difference these different tools can make with your process, but also with the effects that you get. It's a no-brainer, right? I know that sounds like duh, Tracy, but it's what I'm taking away from the painting today. So I went with pink and green. Those look really good in my opinion, and I left a lot of the underpainting showing kind of raw in some of her chin, her lips, her chest area, where her clothing might be, and then I tried to punch up her eye a little bit with some of that green. And these pictures just don't really do it justice. I couldn't get really close with the video, or it wouldn't focus. So this is one that if I end up doing a show with these, you're going to have to come see in person and take a close-up look. So anyway, that's my takeaway for today. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye.